Hey everybody! Today's video is something a little bit different than I have ever done before or have ever shared before, but I like to be as transparent and open with all of you as I can be because I truly feel that unless we're open and honest and vulnerable with one another, we can't make a positive impact. So I'm going to share something personal that's going on in my life right now that is greatly now going to affect the course of mine and my husband's life for the next however long. So I have already gotten the clear with my husband to share this information, so I'm not going behind anyone's back or stepping on anyone's toes, but my husband lost his job last week, and so our life is going to look a little bit different. The main thing that we are looking at, obviously, when someone loses their job is where we're spending more money than we need to spend. Now, of course, all of you know that I am very, very particular about the food I eat. It's all very high quality. It's organic. I shop at health food stores. So the food that we buy is very expensive. I'm going to be completely candid in the numbers that I share with you of how much we used to spend on groceries compared to how much we are budgeting to spend now moving forward until Kevin finds a new job, which we're believing will be soon. But in this economic downturn, there have been thousands and thousands of people that have lost their jobs. So we're in the same boat as so many of you. And not only have people lost their jobs, but the price of food has gone up, the cost of living has gone up, and you may not have lost your job, but you could be on a budget with food. So I want to be really sympathetic to everyone who's currently in the same kind of boat as we are. And I'm really positive of what's going to happen moving forward, but I'm also really excited about figuring out where we can cut costs in our budget and what that looks like while remaining to be healthy. Now is the time for us to be wise with our money, but to not sacrifice our health. So we're still going to be buying high quality food, but we are on a budget now. So over the next little bit, I am going to be doing a whole series about eating healthy on a budget and how we can still eat organic, we can still eat the healthiest food that we can while being on a budget. And I'm going to give you some tips and some tricks as we go along in this journey, and that just you can take away with you if you are on a budget or if you just want to cut costs. We used to spend close to $2,000 a month on food just for us two. We have no children. It is just us. We were spending close to $2,000 a month, maybe more like $1,800. So obviously that is more than most people can afford to spend. I totally realize that. We got into the habit of tracking our food about a year ago because we noticed that our cost of food was quite high. Now, of course, when you're making a really good wage, you don't really think about what you're picking up on the shelf. You just grab it. It doesn't matter if the jar of olives is $10, you just grab it. So now we're being very cognizant of what we buy. We're making sure we're buying things that are in season. We're staying to eating organic foods, for sure off the Dirty Dozen list, but maybe not all organic foods, especially off of the Clean 15. And those are two lists that you can find online. It's called the Dirty Dozen, the Clean 15, and it talks about foods that have been sprayed the most with pesticides and foods that have been sprayed the least. So we try and stick to that. But we are still going to be eating organic produce. We're going to be eating free-range meat. We'd only eat chicken anyways, but we're going to be making everything still healthy, but within a lower budget. One of the biggest things that is to our advantage is we do not consume high amounts of animal foods at all. So we are predominantly plant-based, and as you know, one of the most economical ways to eat is plant-based. Beans, lentils, rice, quinoa, grains, all of these things are very inexpensive and can be very nutritious when they're prepared in a balanced way. So that's really not an issue. We have to look at the things that we were just flippantly buying, and when you start to eat a plant-based diet or a vegan diet, you can start to get into substitutes, and those substitutes can end up costing you a lot more money than the regular thing. So maybe you stop having soy sauce, for example, and you go out and buy coconut aminos, which is a derivative of coconuts. It tastes like soy sauce, but it's $12 a bottle, where the soy sauce is maybe $3 or $4 a bottle. Yes, it's healthier, but it does add up. So all of these different substitutes or additives that are healthier, these are the things that add up. It's not your base ingredients necessarily. Fruits, vegetables, beans, lentils, grains, all of these things can be fairly inexpensive in their whole form. It's when you start going into the middle of the aisles and buying all of these different condiments and jars and cans of different things, especially when they're organic or they're natural, that's when you start to really pay more money. And it's unnecessary because you can make most of those things yourself. You can buy beans, like if you're buying canned beans or canned lentils, you can buy your own dried beans, soak them and cook them, and it is 10 times cheaper. So that's one way that you can save money if you're eating more of a plant-based diet. We are going to aim, now I know that this is still a high number, we are going to aim to cut our grocery bill down to around $1,100 a month. I know that that is still a big number for so many of you. I have friends that have children and their budget is literally $500 a month. I don't know how you do it, but we personally will prioritize healthy eating over every other aspect of our life, because the health of your body is going to carry you through your entire life, but especially through these tough times. If you've lost your job, if you're in transition, if you're on a budget, the last thing you want to sacrifice is your health. The number one thing that keeps you healthy is what you put into your body. So you really want to prioritize healthy food, which is what we're doing. We have also cut some other things in our lives to prioritize for healthy eating. We're selling one of our cars, so we're dropping down to one car between the two of us, which is going to save us a car payment every month. And until he gets another job, we don't need two cars. We're selling electronics that we don't need. We're selling clothes that we don't need. And we have expensive electronics and expensive clothes, so we're definitely going to be getting some return for that, but we are really minimizing what we have, getting rid of what we don't need, and being wise stewards of what we do need. The number one thing that we are prioritizing right now is our health. So this is our journey, and I know it's not everyone's. I know not everyone can still afford $1,100 a month. It's still a big chunk of money, but this is just where we're at financially. And everyone has money that they waste on areas, on things that do not build them up physically, emotionally, or spiritually. We all have areas of our life where we can cut costs. I'm not going to be spending thousands of dollars on fancy skincare every month. I'm not going to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars getting my hair done as many times as I want in a year. So these things, they're nice, but they don't matter. They don't add to our life in a spiritual way, in a healthy way, especially when we're using money flippantly and we're not respecting it for what it is. So this is what we're doing. We went on our first grocery trip, so we're tracking officially this month. We are going to try and hit our budget of $1,100 or lower, and we're just going to be wise about what we buy. Our first grocery trip was yesterday. We spent $59, which is awesome for going to the health food store. We bought a bunch of lentils. We bought green lentils, brown lentils. We got rice. We got different vegetables. That's what we bought. So we're going to be eating a really kind of basic, predominantly plant-based diet. Not much different than what we're eating already, but we're just finding ways to cut those costs. So I would love for you to join us on this journey of saving money and eating healthy on a budget. And please leave me a comment. Have you lost your job in this downturn among so many other people, especially if you're in Alberta, which we are, which is predominantly oil and gas? And it's a rough go for a lot of people, but we are staying positive because we need that positivity to drive us through until the next job comes around or the next opportunity comes around. And we're going to focus on this time to see everything as an opportunity for growth, to get rid of what we don't need, to adopt some new healthy habits, and to save the money that we do have. So please leave me a comment below if you would like to join me. Any questions that you have about eating healthy on a budget, and I am going to be giving you guys updates every week. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.